So I just want to share something that I wrote down about chakras. I believe I don't have a book or a reference that I wrote down from it, so it probably was more than likely given to me during meditation. But I have here, chakras are connected into the true essence of your soul, revealing the inner hurts and your pains. The goal is not to open, but to transform into sources of healing light. You ever have someone tell you that you're glowing, or that they just notice this different aura about you? It's just something there. Now, of course, they're speaking of the fact that that God is shining because He's done cleaned up your house. You done cleaned up, you done shined up, so now your outside is shining. But what we forget is that soul part, that true essence of us, is the reason why we're shining. So a lot of us, we get stuck into trauma. Because when I look at people's auras, I see it as their joy and their happiness and God's internal light shining through them, of course. But I also see that as your presence is your light. So whatever you're going through internally is going to reflect on your outside. Now, me, I know I have an ultimate glow about me because I have healed up trauma. I have healed up trauma. On top of healing up trauma, I have aligned with the divine, who's going to ultimately just bless me because I'm walking into the things that He wants me to do. I'm not going back and doing things that He's asked me not to do, or things that doesn't go along with my future. So because I've healed, I've cleaned up the house, I got rid of some old things, I took out the junk. Now I'm just shining. Like, I'm shining because I have allowed God to transform me. So I state here that I practice chakra healing because it helps me to stay balanced. I use meditation to uplift and transform my energy into God's consciousness, into consciousness energy, into us all being on that same vibration to reach these ultimate blessings and to reach God's source, God's wave of life. God is the ultimate vibration, which is love. So once we reach the love, then we ultimately just allow all of things to align for us in divine will, because we have free will to do whatever we want. Yes. But when you are aligning yourself with God's will for your life, that's when you're just noticing that everything is just flowing. Yes, there'll be roadblocks, but they still flow. So pay attention to what you're actually doing in your life. I decided that I'm going to do free will, God's will, which means I'm going to allow myself to break free of certain patterns and choose the direction that God wants me to go in.